Hi, welcome to week 12, or module 6 I should say. So this is our final module this week and next week for the final 2 weeks of the semester and this subject. So this week it's about your introduction to student diversity and technologies education in the early years. Now, thinking about what student diversity means and what inclusion means are two key terms that you're going to have to define this week. So as an early childhood educator, you're responsible for effectively planning and implementing technologies education learning experiences that cater for student diversity, include all interests and needs within your classroom. So it's imperative that you have this understanding of what inclusion and diversity means in the 21st century classrooms and implications of these for your professional technologies practices. So it's effective technologies education has really helped evolve schools and move them. It's such a tool for helping to promote and foster inclusive learning environments, cater to different needs. It's another tool we can use. We can provide learning experiences to their children where they can see, they can hear, they can feel, they can smell. And it's about using technological resources, both digital and non-digital, in our technologies education to provide a depth of learning. It's about meeting individual needs and interests. It's framed by the Early Years Learning Framework, the Queensland Kindergarten Learning Guideline, of course the Australian curriculum, that require you as an early childhood teacher to implement inclusive practices within your classroom. And these inclusive practices can be developed in partnerships with families, with the community and resources, carers, support groups that really foster this inclusive learning environment. Keep foregrounding a teacher of technologies as you work through the materials this week. Always bring it back and consider how you're going to do this effectively in your technologies classroom. If you need to have a look, reflect on the curriculum and see what types of learning experiences you're going to need to provide and how you're going to do this holistically to meet the diverse needs of students in your classroom. With only 2 weeks left, I can't stress enough how important it is that you have looked at your exam timetable. You know when the exam is, you've reviewed the exam rules as to what you need to be prepared to take, and all the information can be found on our site this week, and there's links to exams and results, so please take a moment so you're prepared. So it's thinking about developing these core understandings of diversity and inclusion, and this week you're going to be helped through that with some YouTube clips, some activities, and thinking about what inclusion is. It's how do you value those, it's about how you understand the needs of the community. It's not adding on or an afterthought to your work. It's actually part of your practice, your holistic practice, and how you're going to foreground technologies education and help children succeed and develop their learning outcomes of technologies education. So this week it's really important that you think about these two terms, thinking about it in terms of similarities and differences. And it's also important that you have a look what's out there. So your task this week is for you to review at least 5 free or low-cost apps for use by early childhood educators in responding to a scenario. And the scenario goes like this. So you are working for Tropics Early Learning College. Your director or principal has asked you to construct a list of apps for possible purchase to support inclusive practices within the college. So you're going to present the apps to the principal and a statement with justification for your purchase. So when you justify your purchase, don't forget to foreground technologies education in there. So what types of thinking are being developed and how is these apps supporting diverse learners through the thinking processes that are required for technologies education. To do this effectively this week, you can work with your collaborative working group to actually build these resources together, but please write your own justifications. The readings this week will further cement these understandings of these key terms and think about what it means in terms of Australian legislation, about the basic human rights of the child, what does inclusive practice mean, how is it enacted, and what is your role in facilitating inclusive practices within technologies education. So have a good week, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, bye.